Well, good evening. I'm Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity and Cowboy Wisdom podcast presenting 7 ways why I rose out of being afraid of my daily life. And see, we want to have the courage, but the thing about courage, say the word courage and you feel it all up here. Say the word audacity and you feel it come here. The more the words come from down here up, the more enlightening prowess they expose you to in your own inner self. So I rose out of being afraid of my of my of me and my talents and my daily events, encounters, and experiences because I let them intimidate me. How do you let people in your daily life intimidate you because they talk tough and they act this and you're afraid of looking bad in front of other people? That's me. I've done that. Now I want to communicate. I don't have to get angry. I don't have to get frustrated. But the thing is, you're dealing with a lot of egotistically arrogant, know it all, stubborn, hard headed people, and they're afraid of their talents. See, the people are afraid to communicate these days. So today I awakened to understand if I can communicate, listen, observe, and witness, and express the words, the lingo that liberates everybody and shows everybody a better way. I never have to be afraid of my daily events. But the person I'm afraid of and fear the most is me. When you're afraid of somebody, you're afraid of your own talents because they're all the same. And, we have this. I was taught, well, I had to win the argument. I had to win. Well, I have to communicate what I've opened up to. I have to communicate a way for everybody to walk away with fresh wisdom and insight and clarity about their own life. And another thing I've opened up to, I realize and admit what other people said about me, to me, has effect on me in my thinking mind and subconscious frozen in time representation. What have people said to you that you carry today? I would, when people say you're stupid, I had that when I was young. People said I was stupid. People said I was this, but you're never stupid. You just have a higher, you have a higher free flowing energy than they do, and your frequencies of flowing energy are above theirs and outside of their socialized, brainwashed ways. It's like you take people with unique things. And I'm going to just throw this out there. People, we try to make people that are different than us fit into our socialized ways, and they're never going to do it. But we become afraid of a people that have a different set of social skills and a different free-flowing wisdom than we do. And see, that's what happened ever since the beginning of time was the witches way back when. All they had was a different frequencies of wisdom, insight, and clarity. This world is afraid of anything outside of the socialized boundaries of burping BS and education and a third world enslaving mindset and outside of the books and knowledge of the world. Everybody's afraid of that. And if you have it, they're going to really make you afraid of your own life. And if you do encompass a higher frequency of intuition, imagination, innovation, inspiration, people are going to ridicule you to make you feel to lower your standards, but really they're trying to lower you down to their standards. So when somebody's trying to ridicule you and criticize you, that means they're afraid and jealous of you. So the best way to do it is just say thank you and I'll see you. Because people are afraid of intuition, imagination, innovation, and inspiration. If anybody says the words think and know in a sentence or a conversation, that conversation's over. Because they're inside their viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, and everything in life, but they're really afraid of life. And see, that's something I've really opened up to is when I was afraid, when I admitted I was afraid of my life events, encounters, and experiences, I was really saying I was afraid of my own uh, intuition, imagination, wisdom, and audacity. We're never afraid of the outside world. We're afraid of ourselves and letting our abilities and agility and acumen and audacity into to the world. The world is asking the people of the world for their acumen, uh, agilities, abilities, adventurous audacity to rise the world out of the current situations we're in. Business and education will never rise this world anywhere. People with the adventurous acumen, abilities, agilities, and audacity will rise the world. People will rise this to peace and prosperity because a corporation and a business and all that is just a name on a sheet of paper in a file cabinet somewhere and for tax purposes. See, they actually had to go and make the corporations a person so for court documents. But people, and no matter how successful a corporation or anything is, people make it successful. And that's something we've left out of the equation of life is people. And people are so uniquely talented, but we've never been allowed to show our talents because it's outside of the realm of education and the socialized way of life. And it's socialism's like a like a road going through a tunnel or in through a cliff or a hill with the road slanting. Well, that's what they want everybody to do is ride them slants down and be on that road in the middle rather than on the hill watching it do. It's like when they cut through the side of a hill and they just V the hill so it don't cave in. That's kind of the way the world is. The wisdom, insight, and everything else is above it, but they want us down on that road so they can control us. So how do you see the world controlled, and how are you afraid of your own talents? Are you open to asking yourself questions about your own talents? Because you are uniquely talented. And also, how do you mirror your parents' ways, the way they interacted through their daily life with people? Like my parents were actually, they were great people, but they actually were very insecure when it come to being interacted. They let our wealth status control us. Wealth, as long as you got health and wisdom, you're free flowing energy. And see, they talked, and my parents, I talked a lot about us never being good enough or equal to anybody. And I encompass that. But I've risen out of that. That's just what it is. That was way back when I was in high school and stuff. But I've really risen to understand I've never really unleashed my talents until now. But I want to see people understand they got the sovereign, sassy tenacity within them to be uncontrolled by the real world, rise out of their thinking memory mind, and show the world their trend-setting talents to expand the world out of where it's at. And that's what Cowboy Wisdom Podcast and Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity is about, is showing people they encompass the talents to experience anything they desire with an accomplished outcome they desire to experience. It's about being open and willing to experience the experiences to get you to the dreams. Because when you set an intention or a dream or an outcome or a goal, the mystical sources of the universe, they like to send roguish riddles and messy mystical events onto your path of enlightenment. They want to see whether you're going to dance, cry, or quit. And them guys have they them people are the sources. They could give a crap less about what you're doing. But it's how did your parents interact in life, and how is that? And something I've witnessed in the last well, I've witnessed it for a long time. You can people can move out of where they grew up, but where they grew up never leaves them. And you can see that a lot in the world. And there's a lot of selfish hate and discontent because people are jealous of other people's talents. And nobody should be jealous of anybody's talents because you have your own unique talent. Some people are more physically gifted, but that's just the way life is. But you still have a talent. So how did your parents do that? And how's your childhood still control you today without you admitting to it? You got to have the adventurous audacity to rise out of your childhood. I did that about 2 years ago. And you got to remember, we live in a show me world. A show me world is whatever occurs out in front of you, it's showing you the way out of the past. It's showing you the way to the promised land. It's showing you the way to your dreamers' paradises. Life is always show me. It's never about thinking about the past because we've been taught to live in the past. And that's what self-help, personal growth, self-improvement, psychology books. You got to heal the past. Hell, too, you got to liberate you from you and let the past go. You will expand out of the past on your daily events when you open up to listen and witness and observe your daily life with an adventurer's acuity. Understanding your daily life shows you the wisdom and insight to move you out of yesterday onto your liminal carpet glide out to your beaches of bountiful bliss. The world will show for you when you listen. The world is going to make you struggle when you think and know. You think and know and struggle. You listen in liminal, intuitive, savvy today, energizing now, because now is all you have. And now, how did your school years affect you today? Mine, I was never the smartest kid in school. Fact is, I probably should have been, let's just be honest, I probably had a few more savvy smacks instead of savvy snacks. But I should have had a few more because I deserved everything I got. That's the thing about life. I have deserved everything I experienced because I did. And that's okay. I didn't know if I deserved some of it, but I deserved it. But it wasn't really, I now understand I deserve it, but now it's a desert. Dawning, enterprising, savvy, streaming, enterprising, rebellious tenacity to be chauffeured through life. But how did your school years affect you today? What did your school teachers say to you? What did your principals, what did anybody in school say to you that still has active representations in your subconscious landscape? Oh, I do, but I've moved on. I finally learned. I admitted it's in there. Then I made it funny, and then I made it a joke, and then I laughed at it. And when you laugh, you let out asinine, useless gunk, harmonizing your trails of triumph. Laughter is just liberating, asinine, useless gunk, harmonizing today's troublemaker tenacity, realizing you're an adventurer on a voyage of bountiful bliss. And how did your teachers treat you? And how does that deal? And what was said? And how do you use, my school years and this? And how do you whine and complain about something that happened in your life? If you whine and complain, you're in the delusional drain of your dreams. And until I woke up and awakened to understand, life dared me to rise out of being afraid of my daily encounters, events, and out of where everywhere daring awakenings that rockets me out of being afraid of my comfort zone, cloned into control by what other people think. How are you controlled by what other people think? All education is what other people think. The third world enslaving mindset is what other people think. How does that control you today? How are you controlled by your thinking, knowing of what happened yesterday? How are you controlled by the past, unwilling to admit it? How would it feel to admit it? We all are. And when your thinking, knowing, memory, mind, subconscious, frozen in time representation, and preset boundaries control my daily life, and they're presented to me through my daily life encounters and experiences, creating my male ego, scaredy cat brattiness that boisterously controls me internally with my egotistical arrogance, hard-headedness, shutting off my listening, free-flowing energy as I know it all, ignorant stubbornness destroys my free-flowing energy. The only one that can stop and control your free-flowing energy is you. And that's what it does. Everything in your life that you desired to in your life and it didn't occur, the only one that stopped it is you, because you let the outside world control you. I did. Oh, by the way, I still do, but now I got a little more tenacity and audacity to face it, brace it, and tell it to shut the blank up. Because we're going forward. As I now realize my male ego and socialized boundary within me stalled me out in doubt. Because I now realize and admit it's my scaredy cat brattiness is me being afraid of me. Only thing you're afraid of is you. Only thing I'm afraid of, and all my fears is a fearing of my abilities, agility, audacity, and acumen. And all my fears is me being afraid and terrified of me, myself, and I's talents. That's all it is. Fear is terrified, but also fear is a security guard for your subconscious mind because it kept you safe at one time. So that all passed out of my life 2 minutes ago. Letting fly my adventurer's acumen, abilities, agility, and audacity to face and embrace my day with a laugh at me, liberates me from me to understand whatever's in the physical world sets me free when I listen, face, embrace, witness, and observe, shutting off my thinking, known, memory, mind, learning, knowledge, and thoughts to open up my inspiration, understanding, comprehending, wisdom, and revelations. Releasing every day's visionary epiphanies for me to witness my day through a listener's, campaigner's gumption. As life is invitations, freeing, engendering sovereign liberation, audacity, politically incorrect inspiration, dissolve socialized desperation, as my cowboy wisdom is grounded in Mother Earth's enterprising, adventurous, rebellious energy. Outlaw optimism, because it rises me out of the mundane to ordain my Mustang Moxie that chauffeurs me through life with ease. With an F off, F that audacity to understand Meyer. I never set a boundaries because boundaries are new fears controlling me. Boundaries are fears controlling you because you can set that line in a boundary, but you'll never go beyond it. And boundaries are new fears being embedded into your inner landscape So instead, I draw a line in the sand, in the sand, with as the winds of as the sovereign winds of liberation blow the wine away, as my gladiator questionnaire to look that situation in the eye with a spry, sassy tenacity, to ask, why am I apprehensive about this situation? Why is this experience occurring for me to rise out of this situation? Where is the wisdom in this situation? Where is my path of enlightenment that chauffeurs me on to my trails of triumph? As I now realize and admit, I now encompass the gut gumption to face and embrace my life with facilitator foresight and participant prowess. To listen, witness, and observe my daily life with pioneering prescience. Prescience is power. So show me I am the leader of my life, eavesdropped on my out of everywhere wisdom, insight, and clarity, enterprising my spirited entrepreneur, enterprising inventors, innovation to experience my moneyed up desired lifestyle now and forevermore. I soar of my sovereign omnipotence, actuates revolutionary riches to be my way of life, because I trusted and blessed my acumen, abilities, agility, and audacity to listen my way to the penthouse. You will think and know your way to the outhouse. You will listen, observe, and witness your way to the penthouse. And what I really want to express to you people, to everybody, you encompass the talents. It isn't going to fit in anybody else's life. It's going to be unique to you to rise, shine, and expand of your dreamer's paradises. And that's all within you as you open your eyes of wise to witness internal splendor every day. And I am Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity and Cowboy Wisdom Podcast. And may your days forever be as blessed as you are a blessing to me in the world.